King, Creator Almighty, you are worthy to be praised. I receive the gifts you've given me. You sent your Son to die for me. Praise His name, lift Him high, give Him glory. He is worthy to be praised. Shout aloud, lift your voice to heaven, singing praises to our King, for He's worthy to receive. Abba Father, Yah, you are holy. I will praise you all my days. You're my rock, my fortress, my deliverer. It's in you that I'm saved. Praise His name, lift Him high, give Him glory. He is worthy to be praised. Shout aloud, lift your voice to heaven, singing praises to our King. Praise His name, lift Him high, give Him glory. He is worthy to be praised. Shout aloud, lift your voice to heaven, singing praises to our King, for He's worthy to receive. For He's worthy to receive. For He's worthy to receive. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Praise His name.
Hi everybody, my name is Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Hila.
And I'm Jason.
And we are Yahoo from our YouTube channel.
Thank you very much, everybody, for joining in. We love you, our dear little family that we have, our little dear ecclesia that we have, and we see some familiar faces, and these are the faces of our families, and we love you guys, and thank you so much for joining us and joining in. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
How are you guys? The long-haired kids? You guys good?
Yep.
Good. Let us begin, and let us begin first with a prayer, like Nicole's over there giving me the prayer sign. Let's begin with prayer. Precious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Father, Yah, we come before you as your people. We come before you as creations that have realized who you are and the path that you have given to us. And Father, we thank you with every last breath that we have. We thank you for your Torah. We thank you for your Son. We thank you for just choosing us and building a beautiful creation and building a wonderful world that we can all live in, and give us hope and give us righteousness and give us the way that we can get to you, and the way that we can get to your Son, and the way that we can get to Mount Zion. Father, we are expecting you. We are looking forward to your Son, and we can't thank you enough for preparing the way for us and for giving us a little tiny ecclesia here. And for those who are listening in, Father, I ask that you will bless everybody who listens in on this. Father, let your will be done. Let the hearts be softened. Let the ears open up. Let the eyes see what other people are not able to see. Father, we know that you will give us wisdom if we ask for wisdom. Father, I pray for extra doses of wisdom for every single one of us, that we are all able just to be wise as serpents and as innocent as doves. Father, we love you and we thank you for your Son, and we ask this all in the name of Yahushua. Amen. All right. Let us get rolling here. One of the very coolest things in the scriptures is the Shema, and we will definitely read the Shema with you guys. And we are in down here in South America. We have 3 seasons. We have rainy season, which you guys have all experienced with us. We have it's hot season, which you kind of experienced with us. Now we're in windy season. And windy season lasts for about 3 to 4 months, and it is probably, I would say, 20 to 30 mile an hour winds most of the time. It's just a weird season. We live between oceans, and I guess this is what happens on the oceans, and it's just part of our life here. And so when you guys hear this going, we apologize for the wind sounds, and we also apologize for our dogs. They are all sleeping right now, and we hope they will sleep for a while. A lot like toddlers, they have routines, and a lot like toddlers, they speak up when they shouldn't speak up and say things they shouldn't say. But we apologize for all of that. So, guys, let us begin with the Shema. Shema is for all of us. It is something very, very beautiful, and we shall begin. All right. Shema is this. Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah Eloheka with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the posts of your house and on your gates. Now, this is our little ecclesia that we have here. You know, we can count you guys up on our fingers and toes, but there's people that actually join in throughout the week. And for those who join in over the week, what we just read right here is something very, very important. And it says things of this nature that you shall teach them diligently unto your children in verse 7. Teaching something diligently to your children is something that we don't just say one time. It's not something that we, it's a quick one in, it's a quick one out, and everyone gets it. This is a lifestyle. This is not just we learn something and we walk away from it. It is that we grab this and we grasp it and we embed the Torah and we embed the ways of our Creator into our fabric of our life. And that our fabric of our life is a representation of what the kingdom is supposed to be. And unless we are diligent and write these Torah up on our heart, mind, and soul, we are not seeking the Creator. We are not looking to that kingdom road. We are not trying to get through that narrow gate that seems, the Bible says that most people don't make it through. And so when we teach these diligently to our children and we speak of them, and when we talk about it, if you can hear the excitement in my voice, this is real excitement, right? The laws, statutes, and commands are the most beautiful things ever. I am so thankful that our Creator has allowed us to read them and to know them and to be part of our lives. And all we really want to do is open people's eyes, because the majority of the world has said that these laws, statutes, and commands don't matter. And that is a problem, because when you don't allow the Torah in your life, then what you're capable of doing and what you're capable of becoming is something very wicked. And there are a lot of evil things that we can do if we do not keep the laws, statutes, and commands. And so this is what we want to talk to you guys about, what we want to write on your doorpost and on your house. And we hope that you guys find this same kind of excitement that we do through all of this. All right, let's say hi to everybody in the chat room, Miss Nicole. Who do we have?
We have the Grand. We have
Hi, Grandma.
Brother Glenn Miller.
Brother Glenn, much love.
Judith is in here.
Hi, Judith.
We also have Emissary of Elohim.
Hi, Emissary.
We have Dredge Deplorable.
Hey, Drudge.
And we have Zachariah Z, Rhiannon, and Damon.
Hey, guys. Hi, Sluggers. Hey, much love to all you guys. Damon, hope you're doing good, little buddy. Hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Now, we're going to go through the same stuff that we go through every week, but this time it's a little bit different, because now we have the laws of our Creator, which are no more 174, but now we have Yah's laws, and then we also have Yah's laws of the land. And so you will notice when we get to this part, you will notice some of these laws of the land, it's a little bit different. And so we want to go over these together as all of us, as a big family. And what you got, Mr. Cole? Anyone in there?
Maish and Lisa.
Hi, Maish. Hey, Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Maish, how you guys doing? Much love to you guys both. Okay, gentlemen, are you guys ready to go through the most exciting, most amazing, most critically acclaimed words of ever?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm ready.
Boy, that wasn't much. I was hoping for something much more than that. Okay, I was hoping for fireworks or drum rolls, or you guys like, yeah! But I guess we'll just go here. Okay, gentlemen, let's go through these first. These are the laws, statutes, and commandments that we can keep today that do not apply to the land we are in. They apply to all of us. And this is what we are supposed to diligently teach to our children and diligently teach to everybody out there. So let's start with this, and all of these are laws that we can keep today. No ifs, ands, or buts. We've taken out the ones like stoning the witches, warlocks, and all of the evil things like that, and we'll go over those in just a bit, because I believe that even though they are laws for the land, we all need to know these laws right now. And we were actually going over another Torah commands book in another lesson that we were doing, and I don't really like that Torah commands book. It does lay the laws, statutes, and commands out for every individual, like men, women, priests, things of this nature. And I guess that's good, but I believe that all of us as children of the Most High need to know all of these laws. I don't think there should be any kind of mystery. If you see a man or a woman and they are in danger of their souls, and you can explain to them that this law or that law or something that would apply to them, that would be very helpful. If we only know certain laws, then we're not going to be very helpful. And our job is to tell people these laws, let them know what it is, and kind of go from there. All right, gentlemen, let's begin. Be fruitful.
Multiply. Replenish the earth.
Subdue it. Have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living creature.
Okay, the herb buried in every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families.
Master sin.
Every clean moving thing that lives shall be food for you.
Do not eat the blood.
Walk before me and be perfect.
Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments.
Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Hold on, I'm getting up to the top, guys. Okay, teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover, Pesach.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread, matzah.
There is one Torah for the stranger and one for the Hebrew.
Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah.
You shall not make graven image.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
Keep the Shabbat.
Honor your parents.
Do not
little
kill.
slow there, Jubs. Do not kill. Do not break wedlock.
Do not steal.
Do not make false accusation against your neighbor.
Do not covet anything of your neighbor's.
Do not make an altar from rock that a tool has touched.
Do not go up to the altar by the steps.
If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times.
Yahuwah's laws for criminals.
Do not lie with beasts.
No sacrifices to other gods.
Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest.
If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return it to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast.
No false report.
Do not follow the multitude of evil.
Do not judge unrighteously against the poor.
Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Yeah, and I'm going to pause right there because the Grand, I have the comments going up there. The Grand says Torah is life. That's absolutely true. Does anyone see that the Torah is not life?
No.
See, it's life for us.
It would be death without the Torah, right? And
Right.
so these are yes, Torah is absolute life. All right, stay away from rumors and gossipers.
Take no bribes.
Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger.
Give your land rest in the 7th year.
Do not mention any pagan names.
Do not, or keep the feast of Yahuwah.
Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk.
Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah.
Make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land.
Do not make your use as anointing oil on a normal person. Do not make your use as perfume on a normal person.
All right, enunciate, dear son. Okay, do not eat the fat. And let's stop real quick on this because we were talking. I've had some really good discussion over last Shabbat when we were talking about this. What it is this is a very interesting commandment. Some people will eat the fat, and some people. In fact, I think Rhiannon was talking about the different kinds of fat that is out there. And what I know of as fat, and I guess we can talk about what goes into hamburger, what goes into sausage, what goes into all of this stuff. And my uncle, when I was a kid, I lived in Colorado Springs for a little bit, and he had a meat packing plant. And so as a child, I think I was only like 7 or 8 years old. I wasn't very old. But they would go and I would hang out at this meat packing plant, and the cows would come in, and most of the cows had problems. There was something wrong with these cows, which is why they went to slaughter. So anyway, we went down there, and I got to see the whole process of it. And they pop the cows, and then they start cutting them up. And what they put in the grinders isn't just meat. There is quite a bit of stuff that goes in there. In fact, you can put in lots of stuff. The gristle, you can put in. There's just a whole pile of it, and that's why when they're grinding the stuff up, there's all sorts of stuff in there. Now, back in the day, I don't think they made hamburger like this. I don't know if they would have had a grinder. I don't know so much as they would have ground up all of the fat and gristle and things like this. from a health standpoint, I don't believe that eating fat is good for us. When we're talking about sacrifices and things of that nature, our Creator that's what he says. It's an enjoyable smell to him, or it is something that is sacred to him. And so when and again, I hate to toss my mama under the bus, but she's the only person I've ever known that literally takes the steak and cuts like the big chunk of fat off there and saves it to the very end, and then we'll eat that fat as like a delicacy. And it's not meat; it's something else, and it's our Creator gives us these rules for a reason. And when we're talking about things of this nature, I don't think it's a good idea to eat any fat in there at all. And I know that all the meat that we get, the hamburger and stuff, it comes and it actually says on the side like 97% fat free or something, but there's always stuff in there. I don't know what's wrong or right as far as that goes, but I do know that it says do not eat the fat. And even though it gave us 2 or 3 different kinds of animals, I'll have to do more research on this, but I'm thinking from a health standpoint, that is probably not good for us. And that's what we are able to find out, especially when we get down to swine and things of that nature, or the birds of prey, like the ravens and vultures and things like that. Those are the kind of things that eat literally everything. And so it's not a good thing. All right, let's continue on. Do what you say you're going to do.
Return what is your neighbor's.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
Women's time of separation.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Keep the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippurim.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife.
Do not lie with a woman in her uncleanness.
You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
Be holy.
Do not reap the corners of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor.
Do not lie or be a liar.
Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Do not endanger your brother or your neighbor.
Do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Do not divert your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle in and wool.
Do not lie with a taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery.
Do not round your beard or the corners of your head.
All right, if you ever get a beard, right, Eli? Just kidding. Okay, do not get tattoos. What happens if you get a tattoo?
I think we skipped don't cut yourself for the
Okay,
dead.
don't cut yourself for the dead. Do not cut yourself for the dead. Do not get tattoos. Now, what happens if we're not in Torah and we end up with a tattoo? What do we make of this? I mean, some people, there's people that try to get these off. Are we burned? I mean, have we broken it? Are we in trouble?
So, tattoos are kind of part of our body. They like they come live in our skin.
Yeah, they do.
And I know when you get the tattoo removal, laser removals, they broke its science thing down on it. When you get it laser removed, it breaks down and filters out in the blood, so that when you eat the laser removal on a tattoo.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah. Very, very interesting. And so I do know there's those who get tattoos and they weren't in Torah, but they are now in Torah. And so this is very interesting. But for those of us who are in Torah, that's what we don't do. We want to keep our temples as undefiled as possible, and that's what the pagans do. Is they do a lot of tattoos and things like that, for sure. Okay, do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult the medium.
Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measurements.
Do not walk in the manner of the nations.
Keep the feast of first fruits, Shavuot, or count.
Keep the feast of trumpets, Yom Torah.
Keep the feast of Sukkot, Shimni Atzoret.
If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another.
Okay, hold on here. I think Commandment 98 is something that would have to go to the land, right? Because if this was the case, you would have to take out all of Hollywood, right? I don't know so much they make a movie anymore where they do not. They're completely blaspheming the name of our Creator, and they're doing horrible things like that all the time. So we will have to send, basically 98, I think, will need to go to commandments for the land. Okay, continuing on. If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another.
Repay injury for injury.
Honor the Jubilee year.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who you have trespassed against.
The Torah of being a Nazir.
Wear a tzitzit on the 4 corners of your garments.
The laws of whoever touches a corpse.
Follow Yahuwah's laws of inheritance.
The laws of whoever touches a corpse, that involves a red heifer.
Right, that involves a lot of stuff. But
That involves stuff that we couldn't. I don't know so much as we have a way to. I mean, this is definitely one of these ones that are for the land.
I mean,
think.
we can still wash and ask for forgiveness.
Right, right, absolutely. But I mean, what they're talking about also as well is they're talking about it, priesthood stuff and a red heifer and a lot of stuff. So I don't know if maybe that's one we need to discuss and possibly go over there. But you are definitely unclean when you touch a corpse, and just so everyone knows. Okay, follow Yahuwah's laws of inheritance.
Follow the Torah of keeping your oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Guard your soul.
Learn to fear Yahuwah.
Shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the laws upon your hand and the frontlets between your eyes.
Write the laws on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
Do not hearken to the words of false prophets.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable thing.
You shall give to a stranger of clean food that dies of itself, but you shall not eat of it.
Give tithe your increase of seed year by year.
That's the for the land, I think.
Give tithe. Yeah, that would be for the. But you could also. Are you talking about 129?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that real quick because there are. You have. I mean, there's very, very, very few Torah channels out there that do not have a donate button at the bottom of it. I have now found 2. I think that I've found. Everybody else has a way to donate if you would like to donate, and you will even have preachers like Jim Staley who tells his people you must tithe, and then he brings up the Melchizedek priesthood when Abraham came back and Abraham gave basically this is the son of Noah his 10%. Is tithing biblical?
Yes, but see, this commandment here, I think, is for the Levite. I think you're supposed to go give the Levite this seed here.
Yeah, and so when we are, how do we tithe? How can we tithe? How can we tithe in the modern captivity that we are in today and not be giving our money to a 501c3 operation or somebody that's leading people astray? What does it mean? How does that happen?
So, so back in the day, you were given stuff, for you were blessed by Yahuwah, and your land would grow fruitful. You would have lots of things, and you would repay that back to Yahuwah as an appreciation by giving it to Levites who did not have income. Their only income was through the people around, through their sacrifices. So you were give this to them. How you can do that today is if you are blessed, right? You are in the position where you can give stuff away. You can give your increase. You can give some food. You can help. You can give to the poor, those less fortunate, or someone that needs it. That is your way to give back to Yahuwah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so those who are sitting there with their panhandle out and they're collecting it and they're telling people to tithe, that's not it. None of us are Levites. The entire tithing process was for a support system and a way for the Levites to be able to administer to our Creator as they administer to our people.
And it was as they had a full-time job, right? That was their full-time job. Now anyone can go out and get a job, whereas we don't have priests anymore because Yahushua came and basically became our priest and our sacrifice. We have to basically fend for ourselves as priests, right? We have to pray for forgiveness through Yahushua, and that way the people who teach the Torah was everyone back in the day. All the Israelites were teaching their neighbors about the Torah. It was a normal thing. If you go out and teach the Torah, that should not mean that is how you're going to take people for their money.
Right. Okay, let's continue on. Laws of the 7-year release.
Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart nor shut your hand from the poor.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year, all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
That might be the land, right? Because,
Yeah.
I mean, they had to go to the temple, right? In Jerusalem?
It would be, but it's still a command as well. It is still a command. Let's read it, though. We'll read it and go through these. But this is what we're trying to do is the discussion on that. Okay, you shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
Don't plant them at all. There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken to the prophet Yahuwah has chosen.
Prophet test of Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line.
How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers.
The first child is to get double portions.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost and you find them, you must return them.
A woman should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies or eggs, take the babies, but not the mother.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that it will be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money.
The law of divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge.
If you lend to your brother, do not enter his house to get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset if that was his pledge.
Do not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy.
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back for the forgotten sheep in the field. Leave it for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the Feast of Sukkot.
Okay. All right. So that is the law. So we have 157. So it went from 174 down to 157. Now, I see Mesh in there talking about this. Mesh, brother, I don't want to get in an argument with you. And so I'm just going to kind of continue on with this. I know you just want to kind of argue on this stuff, and I don't. And so we want to keep this as holy as possible on all of this stuff. So, guys, here we go. Now, we want to talk about this. This is the next section right here. These are the laws of the land. These are different than our current laws that we have. And these, we should know these. Now, all of you guys have these open?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't.
So, let's go through these. And because they are laws for the land, we should all know these things, right? This is part of
The Torah.
The Torah. It is part of when we go to the land. When we are in a holy land that is governed by Yahushua and Yah, these will be the things. Okay, commandment number 1. You shall stone the witches, wizards, and mediums.
When in the land, the laws of a murder and a victim's family.
To kill the false prophets.
Do not listen and kill those that try to turn you away from Yahuwah, even if they are family members.
If a city is turned away from Yahuwah, burn the city and kill all inhabitants.
Laws of the end of the 7-year lease.
Any man or woman that has no wicked things in your gates, they shall be taken out and stoned.
The law of the wayward son.
If a man is hung to death, he shall not remain all night.
Laws for the accuser and the accused and purity of relationships.
If a man has a relationship with an engaged woman, both should be killed.
If an engaged woman is raped, she is not charged with crime, but the man shall die.
If a man forces himself upon an undefiled woman, he must pay the father and take her to be his wife.
You may eat from your neighbor's vineyard or grain, but you may not take it out of the field.
Newly married man should stay home for 1 year to be with his wife.
If a
I, feel
man
like, I don't know if that should be in the land, I think that should...
How would you do that?
I don't-
How could you do that in a Babylon where everybody has a job and everybody has to go out? I
You
mean,
get married and you get what, 2 weeks off or something, and then
If
you're
that.
back.
If
And
that.
then you have to go right back to work.
Yeah.
It's like a normal thing.
Yeah, it's just like a normal thing. Why do they have this land? Why do they have this law in the land?
I think
This is the bonding time, right after you get married. It's like your bonding time between you and your wife to get all settled in, to get everything in your house ready to go. Because there were a lot of wars. Some of these people were warriors. Some of these people were people working in the fields, and sometimes the fields weren't close to their homes.
Yeah.
They had to stay away from their wife. So this is to grow with your wife for that year, and that way you weren't able to be separated from your wife, and you could actually grow a relationship, and you're not worried about if your relationship's going to be the same if you leave the next day after you get married.
All right. Okay. If a man is found kidnapping, he shall die.
You cannot give a man more than 40 stripes for his judgment of his wickedness.
If a woman comes to defend her man and grabs the other man's privacy, he'll cut off her hand.
Okay, and so this one, the laws of the land, there's not very many here because we just basically pulled these out of our other commands. And so we're going to add a whole bunch more to these and get them all dialed in. And we're going to try to get a very complete list. And so that is that. Gentlemen, you guys ready?
Yep.
All right, so let us get into our reading for today.
We have a few more people that popped in.
Hey,
We
everybody.
have Andrea, Jeannie, Not of This World, and Gamble Channel.
Hi guys. Hope you guys are well. Thank you guys very much for joining in on this little reading, and we hope you guys are completely blessed by this. Okay, so what we're going to be reading is the Targums at the top. At the bottom, we have Yah Scriptures. We are starting in Genesis 20 today, and this is for those who have never heard what we are doing here or heard of the Targums. And honestly, up until about 6 or 7 months ago, I had never heard of the Targums either. And I didn't know what to make of this, and we have not read through this as a family and tried to go through it and see if it's real or fake. We are doing this with you guys as a family, and we're going through it and seeing if it's real or fake. And some of the things that we've gotten out of it, for the majority of it, seems right on top, on everything. What do you got, Mr. Cole?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay. Yeah, so it seems right on things, and we get a lot more details with this. And so this is why I think it's important that we at least study this, and then we look to see if this is the same kind of stuff that we're looking for. So the Targum is at the top, Yah Scriptures is at the bottom. Let us begin. Okay, and Abraham departed from there to the land of Negeb, and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur, and stayed in Gerar. And Abraham said concerning his wife, Sarah, his wife, she is my sister. And Abimelech, sovereign of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. Okay, so we've heard this before.
He did this once before, and he got the king of Egypt cursed, like really badly cursed, and scared him to death that he kicked him out of the land.
Yep.
And then he just did it again.
And then we see later, as we get further chapters, that Isaac does the same thing.
Yeah, they all seem to have this kind of issue.
I think at this point, Abraham should know that nothing's going to happen to Sarah at this point. He's with Sarah. He's been promised this. I mean, he's been promised a child. All these things. I feel like he literally stood with like 3 messengers as he watched Sodom and Gomorrah burn, right? They told him they're going to go burn it, and he like talked to Yahuwah personally saying, would you save the city? And he saved his own family members because of Abraham himself. I think Abraham should have a little more faith in this situation. It is a scary situation to go in, especially if he had a beautiful wife.
As they say, it is easier to judge a man than to walk a mile in his moccasins, as they say. The world that they lived in, I would have to say, is far more violent than the world we live in.
Right.
Entire villages could be wiped out. You know, you saw the children of Jacob when they went in and they took out cities. I mean, they went out and took cities, and they took all sorts of things, and it was just violent. It was very, very easy to lose everything. And, you know, for all of us, faith is a huge thing, and faith can waver. And that is the point of unwavering faith. We're not supposed to allow ourselves to get in that position. But until we walk a mile in a man's moccasins, we don't know exactly how that went down. But I believe that Abraham's faith is strengthened by this, for sure. Okay, 3. But Elohim came to Abimelech in a dream by night and said to him, see, you are a dead man because of the woman whom you have taken, for she is a man's wife. However, Abimelech had not come near her, and he said, Yahuwah, would you slay a righteous nation also? Did he not say to me, she is my sister? And even she herself said, he is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and in the innocence of my hands, I have done this. And Elohim said to him in a dream, though I know that you did this in the integrity of your heart, and so I kept you from sinning against me, for this reason I did not let you touch her. Okay, do we remember this in extracurricular books? Is this the one where he went out to touch her and his hand got all jacked up, or he had there was a messenger? Which story was this?
Ooh, I think it was this one, because the one before in Egypt where they all got plagued and like they were about to get like boils on them, and there's a whole bunch of terrible stuff that was about to happen to him. Yahuwah promised them if he did not like leave Sarah alone.
Yeah, so I think that this wasn't an overnight thing. This was it took a while to get to this point.
When Abraham like said she's my sister, there was like a while like he would take her, like the king would take her into his castle and leave her there and like treat him really well.
I think it was in the span of like 6 months. I think one of them said it was roughly 6 months or something about there.
And can you imagine having your wife in with the king and you're still a peasant on the outside? It would break your heart.
It'd be stressful.
Very stressful. You have no idea what's going on with your wife at all. Okay, let's continue on. 7. Eli, do I need to go pick up? One more. Okay, and now return the man's wife, for he is a Nabai, and let him pray for you, and you live. But if you do not return her, know that you shall certainly die, you and all that are yours.
So I think it's interesting here that he says he's a prophet.
Yeah,
right. You know, he said like a shepherd or like a father of many nations. He is a prophet.
A Nabai. Yeah, it does say that. Is
also,
interesting.
Abimelech like called out to Yahuwah. He's like, Yahuwah, I did this kind of thing. Did he already know Yahuwah? Did he already know of his existence? Like, because you know the king of Egypt, they all have their false deities. They all pray to something else. Was Abimelech a righteous man? Was he a righteous man before Yahuwah?
I don't know. I do not know that. All right, so let's continue on. Let's head up here. This is in the Targums, guys. Let's read what the Targums has in difference. Okay. And Abraham went on from thence to the land of the south, and dwelt between Rechem and Chagra. I don't know if that Chagra is that. What did you guys say?
I think
it's Kadesh and Gerar.
It could be. He said he journeyed from the country of Negev and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned to Gerar.
Okay, and had his habitation in Gerar. And Abraham said concerning his wife, she is my sister. Now, was this a lie?
No, we learned actually later in this chapter.
No, he's not lying. Okay, and Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. King of Arad is what the other translation says. So instead of king of Gerar, it says king of Arad. And I'm not sure what that means. But let's continue on. And a word came from before Yahuwah unto Abimelech in a dream of the night, and said to him, Behold, thou diest because of the woman whom thou hast carried away, and she, a man's wife. But Abimelech had not come nigh to defile her. And he said, Lord, shall the son of a people who hath not sinned, and whom it is right to absolve in the judgment, be killed? Did he not say to me, She is my sister? And did not she also say, He is my brother? In the truthfulness of my heart and the innocency of my hands have I done this. And the word of Yahuwah said to him in a dream, Before me also it is manifest that in the truthfulness of thy heart thou didst this, and so restrained I thee from sinning before me. Therefore I would not let you permit thee to come near her. And now let the wife of the man return, for he is a prophet. He will pray for thee, and thou shalt live. But if thou wilt not let her return, know that dying thou shalt die, and thou and all who are thine. Okay, so that's interesting there. Go ahead.
I want to bring up a good point that would make sense. When he says, like, I do this out of innocence in my heart, it could be a lot like people that celebrate the pagan holidays like Christmas, right? They say, I do this out of my heart, out of my goodness. You know, like, I see that, I'm not going to punish you, just don't do it again, right? I think that should go for everyone. Once you know that the holidays are pagan, and you're like, he knows my heart, I'm doing it out of the good for the birth of the Messiah, and it's not, you find out it's pagan, you should turn from those ways, or you will get cursed. There will be cursing upon us. I mean, he said, if you do not give her back, you will be cursed. It's the same for those who celebrate false deities' days.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a good point. Jade, you got anything?
No.
Maish says, a prophet brings the word in many forms, tongue, writing, and by his hands, his actions.
There you go. Okay, so Abimelech rose early in the morning and called all his servants and spoke all these words in their hearing. And the men were greatly frightened. And Abimelech called Abraham and said to him, What have you done to us? In what have I sinned against you, that you have brought on me and on my reign a great sin? You have done matters to me that should not be done. Okay, let's talk about this real quick. Okay, you just talked about him seeking Yah, or at least calling out to Yah. The Targums called him Lord, right? And we know that with the Lord, with the that's it translates to Baal, is the lowercase Lord like that. He also said he was a prophet. He also said, you have brought on me on my reign a great sin. Why would he say that he's brought on him a great sin? If this was he possibly keeping the laws, statutes?
I think he was. I think because during the time of Shem, and I'm sure Shem had a lot of followers during his time, right? When Shem was alive as the Melchizedek priest, he was obviously a popular person. I think the teachings were spread around to more than just the chosen seed of Abraham's people. Like we see Job, when Job is around, I guess, Abraham's time, and we know that he was a holy, righteous man as well. Right.
And I'd like to point out that everybody that has all fake, false deities, they all have sets of rules as well for all of those. So, people in Egypt have, 50 different kinds of gods. The India people have hundreds of different kinds of gods, lowercase g. And so, but they all have different things that they say that you can do for whatever. So that may possibly be it. He had heard of Yahuwah before. And let's continue on. Okay. 10. And Abimelech said to Abram, What did you have in view that you have done in this matter? And Abraham said, Only because I said, the reverence of Elohim is not in this place, and they shall kill me for the sake of my wife.
I think he just figured out that this place is of Elohim. I think he just figured out these places do reverence Elohim.
So I don't think he's following Elohim, but since he came to him in a dream, he probably is like, he saw that there was some true power in this. He's like, please do not curse me. He probably wasn't, I don't think he was following Yahuwah.
Right. I mean, sovereigns only become sovereigns because at the end of the day, the will of our Creator has allowed this.
Right.
And, our Creator, regardless of what people think, He is in charge of everything, every last detail, every minute detail. And although He lets it play out the way He does it, He can change it and He can do what He wants to do on this. All right, let's go into 12. 12. And yet, she is truly my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. And she became my wife. Okay, so he came clean on this.
Yeah, he technically didn't lie, but he still didn't tell him that he was his wife.
Imagine being before all the soldiers, all the king, and all this, and then now you have to explain yourself. That's got to be a scary situation. Like, you just brought this huge problem to them, and now they're like, what are you doing?
Well, the problem prior to this is that he thought the woman would be taken away from him if they thought it was his wife. So
he was afraid to die.
Was he afraid to die?
I believe so. I think-
Or was he afraid to
We see that before in Egypt that he was like, "Lest I die, for you are too pretty, and they will take you from me. I will die for your sake," is what he said in Egypt.
Right. Okay. 13. And it came to be when Elohim caused me to wander from my father's house that I said to her, "This is your kindness, that you should do for me in every place, wherever we go. Say of me, he is my brother." And Abimelech took sheep and cattle and male and female servants and gave them to Abraham, and he returned Sarah, his wife. And Abimelech said, "See, my land is before you. Dwell wherever it is good in your eyes." And to Sarah he said, "See, I have given your brother 1,000 pieces of silver. See, it is to you a covering of eyes before all who are with you and before all others, and you are cleared before everyone."
So I have a question. When he says covering of eyes, he's talking about like getting her a covering for her face so people can't see her beauty, or is he talking about the silver or something else?
He's talking about the silver, and he's talking about that. I've given you 1,000 pieces of silver, and see, it is a covering of your eyes before all who are with you. Before all, I think it was basically that the king bestowed. I would imagine 1,000 pieces of silver was a lot of money. I would guess, right? I think a king would have something decent, and so probably back in that day. I don't know what exactly he means by that. Anyone else have anything?
I don't know. Maybe that's the way to like maybe he did get her covering of eyes so that they couldn't see her beauty.
I think this is what he's trying to say is like to make this up to you, to make up all the problems that like this gave you here. This to make up to you, like let it like water be under the bridge and everything. I think is what it means. I think it's like a saying for them they had back in the day or something, or it's translated differently.
Or maybe
than what we're used to in modern English, where it's like let this be good in your eyes. Let us be on even terms here.
Cleared. Yeah, that's probably it. Anything going on in the chat room, Mr. Cole?
No, Mace just said that the boys were right, that Abraham feared for his life, as his Amal was not perfected yet. And Dredge just said, if we don't have fear of Yahuwah, we have nothing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, 17. And Abraham prayed to Elohim, and Elohim healed Abimelech and his wife and his female servants, so they bore children. For Yahuwah had closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. Okay, so this might give us an idea of a timeline right here, because we know that it wasn't just a one-time thing. It wasn't an overnight thing. This was a while. And so how long do you think it would have taken them to figure out nobody could bear children?
Okay, so
That could have taken 6, 7 months.
It could have been a while. But the thing here, because remember when we had the angel, they said within 1 year from this time you will bear a child. At some point, they should have noticed Sarah was pregnant.
Oh yeah, Sarah pregnant this time?
Yeah.
She should be because this is right after he said in 1 year.
It says it further in the chapter.
Maybe there was some sin with Abimelech. I mean, he would have noticed something, right?
Well, how far along would she have been?
I don't know. At some point, they would have been able to notice something. Like no one's.
It's like right after she gets returned, she has Isaac.
So right afterwards, so she would have been
After.
months pregnant. She would have, maybe she had on clothes that you couldn't tell she was pregnant or something. There are clothes like that. They're like muumuus or something.
Well, and
or like
most of the women
things.
that days didn't wear clothes that
Right,
show many ways that
showed
they're
everything,
ceased
right?
to-
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So, all right, let's continue on with the Targums at the top. And Abimelech arose in the morning and called all his servants and told all these words before them. And the men feared greatly. And Abimelech called Abraham and said, "What hast thou done to us? And in what have I sinned against thee? For thou hadst brought upon me and upon my kingdom a great sin. Thou hast wrought with me works that are not right." And Abimelech said to Abraham, "What hast thou seen, and that thou didst this thing?" And Abraham said, "Because I said in my heart, the fear of Yahuwah is not in this place, and they will kill me for the sake of my wife. But in truth, she is my sister, the daughter of my father's brother, but not of the kindred of my mother, and she became my wife. And it was when they sought to turn me aside to the worship of idols, and I went forth from my father's house, that I said to her, This is the kindness thou shalt do to me in every place to which we come. Say concerning me, he is my brother." Okay, so we get a little more details out of this, guys. On that, it talks right here, and it says, "And it was when they sought to turn me aside to worship of the idols, and I went forth from my father's house, that I said to her." So who is that? So we're talking about his dad, right?
Yeah, I think
Tarok.
I think this is like after they turned him aside of the idols. I think this is after he killed the idols and they like tried to burn him alive.
Yeah.
And I think he was just done with the family at that point. I think he was just over.
Well, he brought his dad later. I mean, Tarok, didn't he? Didn't his dad come with him?
His dad
Lot
might
came
repent.
with him.
I think his dad might repent at some point. I can't remember. There might be something there.
All right, let's continue on. And Abimelech took sheep and restored his wife to him. And to Sarah he said, Behold, I have given 1,000 silene of silver to thy brother. Behold, they are to thee a veil of the eyes, insomuch as thou wast hidden from thine husband one night, and I would have seen thee. For were I to give all that I have, it would not suffice or be proportionate. And the words were debated, and Abraham knew that Abimelech had not come near Sarah his wife.
So was she only gone for one night?
I don't know. Where do you guys get that?
As much as thou wast hidden from thine husband one night.
Huh. I don't know. Well, this is what the
Maybe.
Targum says. Was it overnight? I mean, how would
I
they?
feel like it'd be longer than that because they bear children. They would have
How
been.
would they know not they couldn't get pregnant? Any of that stuff?
Yeah,
right
no.
there.
I mean, one day they wouldn't really notice much.
Nah, not at all. You wouldn't even do. It would take months to notice this. Months for sure. Okay. And the words were debated, and Abraham knew that Abimelech had not come near Sarah his wife. I wonder if prior to that point if he thought he had, if.
Yeah, he probably never. He wasn't talking. He probably wasn't in his kingdom.
Yeah, that is hardcore stuff to have to deal with, all of that stuff. Okay. This is to the Jerusalem. And to Sarah he said, Behold, I have given 1,000 silene of silver to thy brother. Behold, that silver is given to thee as a present, because thou wast hidden from the eyes of Abraham thy husband one night, and of all that I have, for on behalf of all I am corrected. Behold, were I to give all whatever I have, it would not suffice. Let the words be approved, and may Abraham the just learn that I have not known thee. And Abraham prayed before Yahuwah, and Yahuwah healed Abimelech and his wife and his concubines, and they were at large. They were set at large. For the word of Yahuwah had shut in displeasure the wombs of all the women of Abimelech's house on account of Sarah, the wife of Abraham. Okay. And I guess the Jerusalem side, it says closing had closed. All right. I don't have any answers for how long he was there.
I'm thinking it's a while. Like, you just don't know. All of a sudden, your wombs are shut up right overnight. You just won't know that in one day.
No, absolutely
it would
not.
be a problem. Like,
It would take months and months and months to figure out, or at least a couple months. I would say, or at least maybe a month, right? If everybody in the entire country, all of a sudden, they were not getting pregnant, they would probably notice that inside of about a month, right? All of a sudden, the kids were not. Nobody was, or maybe it'd be 2 months because you wouldn't really notice being pregnant 1 month, would you? Is that even possible?
Maybe.
Maybe not. So I don't know. I don't know how long it is. So we will.
I think it's definitely more because I mean, if it's like become a problem, Abimelech knows about it, and everyone knows that nobody can get pregnant, it's going to become a multiple
Well, it's going to be
time
huge.
ordeal. It's going
to be huge. You could cut off an entire kingdom if people couldn't get pregnant anymore. And so that would definitely be something that would be
scary to Abimelech. That's
yeah.
another problem he has.
Yeah, definitely. If your kingdom got essentially depopulated like that.
With Abimelech, we see that he actually becomes friends with Abraham over time. He actually stays in his lands for quite a while, and Abimelech gets really blessed because the whole land gets blessed. It becomes fruitful. They have wells are there for like generations.
Yep.
There's a lot of good things that happen because Abimelech actually, instead of doing what Pharaoh did and actually kicked him out, said, "Leave my kingdom, take this woman with you, and just leave." He actually had Abraham stay and actually made him like a good friend of his.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that is it. Thank you guys very, very much, everybody. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. That's about it. Anyone have anything? Jade, you got a
Yes, I have
the
that.
wrong blessing, guys. So I think we are going to be heading out. I'm just kind of reading the chat with you guys along with this stuff, and I guess that is it. Let's close up here. Jade, close us out with the Aaronic blessing.
And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto Aaron and his sons, saying, On this wise you shall bless the children of Yisrael, saying unto them, Yahuwah bless you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you, and be gracious unto you. Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon you, and give you peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Yisrael, and I will bless them.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, guys. Thank you guys very, very much. We love you guys all out there. If you guys have any kind of prayer requests, get them to us. Drop them in the chat. Send us an email. We love you all. Thank you guys so much for being here. May Yahuwah bless you guys. May he keep you. May his light forever shine upon you. May his grace forever shine upon you. May his Torah always be with your life. May you forever walk with our Creator, and may you forever walk with our King. Much love, everybody. let us close on this. Eli, you have a exit song for us?
Yep.
Is it one who's going to give us another copyright strike?
Unless James gives us copyright.
No,
strike.
James won't give us a copyright strike. All right, here we go. All right, guys. Much love.
Great is your faithfulness. I'm gonna sing of it when the night falls, when the dark calls, and when the day will break. I'm gonna sing again of your love, unfailing love. Great is your faithfulness. I'm gonna sing of it when the night falls, when the dark calls, and when the day will break. I'm gonna sing again of your loving kindness, your loving kindness for you. Yahweh made me glad by all the works of your hands, all the wonders of how you save us, how you keep every word. You are so high they cannot see. Your thoughts are so deep, a fool cannot perceive, a fool cannot perceive. And you, Yahweh, made me glad by all the works of your hands, all the wonders of how you save us, how you keep every word, and the promise of how you help us. You'll be with us to the end. You are so high they cannot see. Your thoughts are so deep, a fool cannot perceive. And you, Yahweh, made me glad by all the works of your hands, all the wonders of how you save us, how you keep every word.
All right, big hugs back to all you guys. Much love to everybody. Shabbat shalom. We love you guys very, very much. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.